Okay, when we talk about the financial analysis, we're talking about financially sound project. There are a few things that we need to be concerned about. Is mainly the fundings, where we're going to get the fundings, and who is going to be forking out the money. Because in the end, without the funding, basically, there's nothing else we can talk about. See, I mean, the project can be technically feasible, socially, environmentally, everything okay, but then you don't have money to do it. So who is your project sponsor? Who is your project, who is the paymasters? Do they have the money? So understanding the costing of the project is very important, because that's where you can actually inform your project stakeholders, or you inform the shareholders or the sponsors that, this is going to cost you this much, you see, and that, do they have the funding? If they don't have the funding, how are they going to raise the funding? Would they be raising it through selling of the stocks? Would they be raising it through their selling of their assets? Would they be borrowing money? Would they be getting a grant? So there's many route of pulling money, okay, pulling in funding. So you need to confirm with the stakeholders that they have the money and where the money is going to come from, okay, before we can proceed with anything else later on. Then we will move on to also look into the capital costs. Capital cost of the project, I think we all know that, we calculate that, and just now we also mentioned the operation and maintenance. So this is the time that we need to think about cash flow. So you need to plan for your cash flow. How much money will be paying for the first year, second year, third year, fourth year? How much money will be going out? Would you be getting any income? And then if the project in operation and maintenance stage, in the life cycle stage, would there be any income? Where you're going to get the funding for operation and maintenance? So cash flows, okay? Cash flow is a very important aspect of the financial plan that we are going to be making for our project. So in the end, what we are concerned about is, do we have money for it? And in certain project, are we going to get enough income to fund the project, or are we going to make money? So these are the critical aspects of financial viability. And cash flow also, we will think about, if let's say you have borrowings, and then from borrowings, you will need to pay interest. And then from the interest, when are you going to start selling your properties, or when are you going to go into production? And when are you going to start making money? I've heard about stories of some manufacturers, sometimes it takes them 2 or 3 years. It's very similar with construction project. They construct the line, they've done R&D, and then in the end, the product only be put into production maybe 3 years after the first idea creation. So then we need to know, when are we going to have income, and in between, how are we going to pay our staff? You see, how are we going to be a healthy company, that is making investors, wanting to invest in your company. So one of the way of getting funding is investment. So you need to have a healthy company. Your healthy company is, you must know when you're going to be spending the money, when you're going to get income, when are you at your negative period, and how are you going to fund that negative period? How much negative are you going to have, and how much profit that you'll be making for your shareholder, your stakeholders, and your assets. So, to buy assets, to sell assets, what is your liability? You can have a lot of assets, but you can also have a lot of liability, and that doesn't mean anything in the end of the day. So, financial studies, which you are learning in your one of your course, I think that is a very interesting course, and that is where us engineers are a bit lacking in. We usually like to leave these things to financial manager. We like to leave it to our CFOs, but I think as any company, leaders of the company at the management level, you must understand cash flow, accounting profit, you need to know about depreciation, you need to think about fundings, and then you need to think about your balance sheet, your profit and loss. So balance sheet is where you have your assets, your liabilities, and then your net assets, net assets versus liability, your shareholders' equity, and current liability, fixed assets, fixed liability, current assets, current liability, and all that. There's a lot of financial ratio that can actually be used to track whether your company or this particular project idea is actually healthy. So then that's where you can attract investors, and investors can come in and fund the project, and then in the end they get the profit that they are looking for, and it's a happy ending. Okay, so project financial studies is really to put very simply, actually it's not so simple, honestly. Yeah, but to summarize it, we don't want our project to have financial issues. We don't want to be short of funds. We don't want to go into bankruptcy. We want to be able to pay our suppliers. We want to be able to pay our contractors, subcontractors, our builders, and our subcon and all that. We want to do that because that would be a good reputation, and that will actually an easy future project as well. So these are pitfalls that a lot of us as engineers sometimes we lack of, because we are so focused on the design, we're so focused on the technical aspects, and we are a bit short of understanding on the financial aspects. And many projects fail because of financial, not so much fail because of technical. In the first place, there wasn't enough funding, and then you get the project started but cannot pay at the end of the day, or halfway through the project you cannot pay. So then it becomes KIV, becomes sick, and the contractor run away, because nobody is paying them, and then the project goes into massive delays and all these sort of things. So there are issues like that. So financial viability is something that I want to emphasize in, especially in scope management. Something that we need to know. I think the most basic is the cash flow, when the money in, when the money out, how much in, how much out, and are we making profit? Is it a good project in terms of profitability, payback, how long to pay back? And then, of course, we're going to be looking at the fundings, where you're going to get your sponsors, where the money is going to come from. These are some of the critical aspects in financial studies. So that actually, in the end, also tally with the project worth, the life cycle costing bit. So overall, I think if we reach to this stage, if you reach to this stage, is you need to answer the two questions. Is it possible? Is it financially sound? So if these two questions is being answered, then essentially we already confirmed that we are going ahead. And then things from then on is going to be hands-on work like design, installation, compilation, ideas coming into reality on papers and then in real life. So the stages of the scope is like this. So up until now, we're saying that, okay, we are going ahead with this product, and then once we say we're going ahead with this product, it's like well thought through. It's already absolutely well thought through from A to Z, and then we have a confirmation that this is going to be it, you see? And then the next stage would be on developing the scope of works. Now we're talking about the verb. The next stage is about the verb. And the third part of the notes is about the verb. It's about what activities to do. And obviously that bit is usually what we are very comfortable with. It's this bit that, it's a bit long, it's a bit tedious, a lot of things are unsure, there's a lot of studies to be done. And then sometimes this study doesn't feel like it means anything at all, but it's just like making the whole process very slow. So all the feelings that we always get when we do scope management at least up to this stage. When we get down and do our work breakdown structure, things are actually like, going, there's excitement, things are moving. So, but we, as much as I would like to say, it's our responsibilities and duties, our ethics to actually look into different options, look into why the project is needed, and then whether it's possible, whether it's feasible, whether it's financially sound to do the project. So these are all the questions we need to answer up until this stage. Okay.